Okay, so if you have ever stared at a giant spreadsheet and you just know the answers you need are buried in there somewhere, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're doing a deep dive into one of Excel's most powerful, maybe even legendary features, the pivot table. Seriously, this is the tool that turns that raw, messy data into clean, powerful insights with just a couple of clicks. So here's the plan. First, we'll talk about that feeling of drowning in data. Then I'll introduce you to the pivot table lifeline. We'll actually build one in under a minute, I promise. Then we'll use it to ask some questions, and by the end, you'll have a brand new data superpower.
All right, let's just start with a problem that I'm pretty sure is universal for anyone who's had to deal with a big chunk of data.
Yeah, you know the feeling, right? You've got this huge table, thousands of rows of sales records or whatever, and your boss comes over and asks something that sounds simple, like, hey, how much did Sarah sell last month? And your heart just sinks because you know what that really means.
It means you're about to start the manual grind. You filter for Sarah, you copy those rows, you paste them into a new sheet, you write a sum formula, you double-check it. It's not just painfully slow. One little slip-up, one wrong copy-paste, and your whole number is off. There has to be a better way, right?
Well, there is. And this is it. Meet the pivot table. This is your lifeline. It's the elegant, powerful, and seriously fast solution to that whole data drowning problem.
So what is it really? The best way to think about it is like a smart, interactive summary table. It takes all of your original data and lets you, pivot it. You can rearrange it on the fly to see different totals, summaries, and averages, all without ever touching or messing up your original data set.
But before we jump in and build one, there's a really important rule. Your pivot table is only as smart as the data you feed it. Your source data has to be clean, it has to be organized, and every column needs a clear header. Basically, garbage in, garbage out. If the source is a mess, your answers will be a mess too.
Okay, enough theory. Let's actually build one. And I'm not kidding, you'll see just how fast and easy this really is. It all comes down to 3 super simple steps.
That's it. You just select your data, you tell Excel to insert a pivot table, and then you arrange the fields. Let's do it right now.
First things first, just click anywhere inside your data table and hit Control-A or Command-A if you're on a Mac. That'll highlight your entire chunk of data, headers included. You've basically just told Excel, okay, this is the information I want to play with. Next up, you just go to the Insert tab up in the ribbon, and it's usually the very first button on the left, Pivot Table. A little box pops up, and it's already got your data range confirmed. It suggests putting the table in a new worksheet, which is perfect. Just click OK.
And boom, just like that, you're looking at your brand new command center. Over on the right, you'll see this Pivot Table Fields pane. At the top is a list of all your column headers, and at the bottom are the 4 magic boxes: filters, columns, rows, and values. This is where you drag and drop those fields to build, pretty much any report you can imagine.
Okay, so we've built the engine. Now it's time to actually take it for a drive and see what kind of questions we can answer. Let's go with a really common business question. We just want a simple list, show me every sales agent and their total revenue. Now, doing this by hand would be that whole filtering and copy-pasting nightmare we talked about. But with our new pivot table, it's going to take like 5 seconds. So watch this. All we do is find the sales agents field and drag it down into the rows box. Then we find total revenue and drag that into the values box. And that's it, done. Instantly, Excel builds a perfectly formatted table that answers our exact question. No formulas, no filtering, no chance of error. It's amazing.
Once you get the hang of this, it really does feel like you've unlocked some kind of superpower. It completely changes how you look at a spreadsheet. So let's just quickly run through why this is such a game changer. You save a ridiculous amount of time. You create these clean, organized reports in seconds, and you start to see patterns and insights that were completely invisible before. You're no longer just managing data, you're actually analyzing it in real time. So I'll just leave you with this thought. You now have the key to unlock all the stories that are hiding inside your spreadsheets. So, what's the very first question you're going to ask?
Okay, let's kick things into a higher gear for a little speed run. We are talking about 2 of the absolute best ways to make yourself faster and more efficient in Excel, the legendary VLOOKUP function, and of course, a few essential keyboard shortcuts. So, picture this. You've got a big sales report and it's full of product IDs. But what you really need is the actual product name or description next to each one. And that information, it's sitting in a totally different table.
Manually, this is a total nightmare. You're looking up an ID, finding it, copying a name, pasting it, over and over again.
But you do not have to live that nightmare. VLOOKUP is here to save the day. It's a function that was literally designed for this one specific job, to look up a piece of information in one table and pull in related data from another one.
And I mean, just look at the difference here. It's staggering. What would take you a solid 10 minutes of tedious, error-prone manual work can be done in about 15 seconds with a single formula. You just tell VLOOKUP 4 things: what to look for, where to look, what to bring back, and if you want an exact match. You write it once, drag it down, and you're done. Perfect accuracy every single time.
The benefits here are just so obvious. You save a ton of time, you get rid of those little manual errors that can cause huge problems down the line, and you can connect different sets of data to make smarter decisions. And yeah, let's be honest, it makes you look like an absolute Excel wizard to everyone you work with.
Okay, let's shift gears to our next speed boost. If VLOOKUP is like your special move, then keyboard shortcuts are your fundamental training. The whole goal here is simple. Stop reaching for the mouse for every little thing. Your hands should stay on the keyboard.
Now, don't get overwhelmed. Yes, Excel has hundreds of shortcuts, but you absolutely do not need to learn them all. The source material makes such a great point here. If you just learn the main 10 or 20 shortcuts, you can literally cut your work time in half. I mean, that is an incredible return on your investment of time.
The trick is to just start with the essentials. We all know copy and paste, right? But are you using cut with Control X? Or what about inserting a row with Control plus? Or deleting one with Control minus? Just mastering these 5 will make you so much faster you won't believe it.
When you start to combine a powerful function like VLOOKUP with the daily, second-by-second efficiency of keyboard shortcuts, well, that's when you're really on the path to becoming an Excel master.
And I absolutely love how the source material frames this. It's not just about learning a few tricks, it's about becoming an Excel champion. And these tools we've talked about, pivot tables, VLOOKUP, shortcuts, they are the absolute foundation of that skill set.
So, as we wrap up our little speed run, I've just got one question for you. Which one of these tricks are you going to try first? Are you going to finally tackle that VLOOKUP you've been putting off, or maybe just commit to not using the mouse for the next hour? That first step is all it takes.